James Brown was a singer, dancer, and musician whose career spanned over 5 decades. Nicknamed the Godfather of Soul, Mr. Dynamite, and Soul Brother #1, Brown is considered the founding father of funk music and a major influence on 20th century music. Brown's journey began as a gospel singer in Georgia. He rose to fame in the mid-50s as the frontman of the Famous Flames, a rhythm and blues group known for their dynamic live performances. Hits like Please, Please, Please and Try Me established Brown as a star. His success reached new heights in the 1960s with the iconic live album Live at the Apollo and chart-topping singles like Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, I Got You, I Feel Good, and It's a Man's World. By the late 1960s, Brown wasn't just a star, he was an innovator. He moved away from traditional blues and gospel styles, crafting a new sound with a focus on tight, driving rhythms. This revolutionary approach became known as funk, and it went on to influence countless genres. Brown assembled his legendary band, the JBs, and together they churned out iconic funk anthems like Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine, and The Payback. He also used his platform to address social issues, with powerful songs like Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, becoming anthems for the civil rights movement. He was a relentless performer, earning the nickname the hardest working man in show business. His chart success was undeniable with 17 #1 R&B singles. Though he never reached the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100, he holds the record for the most entries on the chart without a #1 hit. Brown's achievements were recognized throughout his career and beyond. He was inducted into multiple halls of fame, including the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and the newly established Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame. Music critics consistently rank him among the greatest artists of all time. James Brown had an estimated net worth of $100 million at the time of his death in 2006. His estate was quite substantial, including a valuable music catalog, royalties, and other assets. In a significant development, James Brown's estate sold his music assets, including publishing rights, master income stream, and name and likeness rights, to Primary Wave for an estimated $90 million. This sale was part of settling disputes over his estate that had been ongoing for 15 years. The proceeds from this sale are intended to fund scholarships for underprivileged children in South Carolina and Georgia, as per Brown's will. Brown's will also designated that his costumes and household items be divided among his 6 surviving children, with $2 million set aside for scholarships for his grandchildren. The remaining estate was to go to a charitable trust called the I Feel Good Trust for educational purposes. However, legal battles among the heirs delayed these plans, and it wasn't until a court ruling in 2020 that the will's original terms were upheld. Early life of James Brown. James Brown was born in 1933 in Barnwell, South Carolina. He entered the world in a small wooden shack, the son of teenage parents. In a twist of fate, his birth certificate mistakenly switched his first and middle names, though it was intended to be Joseph James Brown. According to his autobiography, Brown's heritage was a blend of African American, Native American, and Asian ancestry. Poverty shadowed James Brown's early life. Born into hardship in Elko, South Carolina, the family soon relocated to Augusta, Georgia. Around the age of 4 or 5, James found himself living with his aunts, first in a brothel and then in a shared household. Sadly, his parents' troubled marriage fractured, leading his mother to leave for New York when James was young. Music was a constant in James Brown's young life. As early as 1944, he took the stage at Augusta's Lenox Theater, belting out a ballad and winning a talent show. He even entertained troops stationed nearby, showcasing his buck dancing skills. These experiences not only fueled his passion for performance, but also exposed him to legendary blues artists like Howlin' Wolf. Inspired by the energy of Louis Jordan and the Timpani Five, Brown picked up the piano, guitar, and harmonica, and a star began to shine. Although boxing briefly entered his teenage years, music remained his true calling. At 16, a misstep landed James Brown in a juvenile detention center in Toccoa. There, he found solace in music, forming a gospel quartet with fellow inmates, including Johnny Terry. Fate intervened when Brown's singing talent caught the attention of Bobby Bird, a fellow musician he met during a baseball game outside the center. Bird, impressed by Brown's voice, known as Music Box within the prison, would later play a pivotal role in Brown's musical journey. Bird claims his family helped secure Brown's early release on the condition he dedicated his talents to gospel music. Thanks to a work sponsorship program, James Brown secured his early release in 1952. Local businessman S.C. Lawson, impressed by Brown's work ethic, offered him a job and vouched for his parole. This act of faith set Brown on a new path. He remained connected to the Lawson family, even working with S.C.'s sons later on. Wasting no time, Brown found his way back to music, joining the ever-ready gospel singers alongside Bobby Bird's sister, Sarah. Personal life. In 1962, Tammy Terrell joined the James Brown Revue. Brown became sexually involved with Terrell, even though she was only 17, in a relationship that continued until she escaped his physical abuse. Bobby Bennett, the former member of the Famous Flames, told Rolling Stone about the abuse he witnessed. "He beat Tammy Terrell terribly," said Bennett. "She was bleeding, shedding blood." James Brown's marriages were complex. James Brown was married 3 times. His first wife was Velma Warren in 1953, with whom he had a son. Their marriage ended in divorce in 1969, though they remained friends until his death. In 1970, Brown married Deidre Jenkins. They had 2 daughters together, but allegations of domestic abuse surfaced, leading to their separation in 1974 and eventual divorce in 1981. Brown's third marriage was to Adrienne Lois Rodriguez in 1984. This relationship was also strained by public accusations of domestic violence. Rodriguez filed for divorce in 1988, but later reconciled with Brown before she died in 1996. James Brown's personal life in his later years was complex. In 2002, he held a wedding ceremony with Tommy Ray Heine, but the legality of the marriage was disputed after Brown's death. Heine claimed she was his widow, but a South Carolina court ultimately ruled against her in 2020. Brown fathered a large family, acknowledging 9 children. DNA tests later revealed he had additional children as well. The loss of his eldest son, Teddy, to a car accident in 1973 was a significant personal tragedy. Musical career. In 1954, James Brown's musical journey took a turn when he joined Bobby Bird's group. This group had gospel roots, starting as the a cappella gospel Starlighters, before evolving into an R&B outfit called the Avons. Brown reportedly filled a spot left vacant after a tragic car accident. The Avons consisted of several members, including Bird, Sylvester Keels, Doyle Oglesby, Fred Pulliam, Nash Knox, and Nafloyd Scott. Inspired by popular R&B groups of the time, they transformed their sound and renamed themselves first the Toccoa Band, then the Flames. The group remained fluid, with Brown, Bird, and Keels swapping lead vocals and instruments like drums and piano. They were later joined by Johnny Terry, solidifying their lineup. With Barry Trimmer securing gigs near colleges, the group, soon to be known as the Famous Flames, was already building a reputation for electrifying live shows. A chance encounter with Little Richard in Macon led them to his manager, Clint Brantley. Impressed by their audition, Brantley took them under his wing and arranged a demo recording session. Here, the story of Please, Please, Please comes alive. Inspired by Little Richard's scribbled title on a napkin, Brown's determination turned it into a song that would become a turning point for the Famous Flames. The Famous Flames landed a deal with King Records subsidiary and released a polished version of Please, Please, Please in 1956. The song skyrocketed, becoming their first million seller and launching them into R&B stardom. While follow-up hits weren't immediate, Brown took charge in 1957, replacing their manager and hiring a new booking agent. This period also saw the original Flames lineup shift, with the group becoming known as James Brown and his Famous Flames. Brown's ambition didn't stop there. In 1958, he released the ballad Try Me, which soared to #1 on the R&B charts, becoming his first of many chart-topping hits. He assembled his band and reunited with some members of the Famous Flames, including Bobby Bird, Bobby Bennett, and Eugene Lloyd Stallworth. Together, they debuted at the legendary Apollo Theater, opening for Brown's musical hero, Little Willie John. James Brown kept the momentum going in 1962. His band's cover of Night Train became a top 5 R&B hit, while soulful ballads like Lost Someone and Baby You're Right further solidified his connection with R&B audiences. That same year, Brown made a bold move. He financed a live recording of his performance at the Apollo Theater, a venue synonymous with rising stars. Despite skepticism from his record label who thought a live album wouldn't sell, Brown believed in the power of his stage presence. This recording would become a turning point in his career. James Brown set his sights on wider recognition in 1964. He partnered with Bobby Bird to form a production company, aiming for a bigger commercial impact. This move led to a legal battle with King Records, but Brown did manage to release some singles beforehand, including the bluesy hit Out of Sight, hinting at the evolution of his sound. Brown's electrifying live performances were also gaining national attention. His appearance on the TMI show became a turning point. The energy and precision of the famous Flames, combined with Brown's dynamic stage presence, even outshone the Rolling Stones, who were supposed to be the closing act. With the legal battle settled, Brown returned to King Records and released Papa's Got a Brand New Bag in 1965. This became his first top 10 pop hit and earned him his first Grammy Award. He continued his winning streak with Loma Records, releasing I Got You and It's a Man's World, both reaching the top of the R&B charts and achieving significant pop success. By 1965, James Brown was a force to be reckoned with, a top-ranking artist with both R&B and mainstream audiences. By 1967, James Brown's sound had undeniably transformed. This new direction, characterized by driving rhythms and infectious grooves, would be later dubbed funk. That year, he unleashed Cold Sweat, considered by some critics to be the first true funk song. Cold Sweat topped the R&B charts and broke into the pop top 10. This landmark track showcased Brown's innovative use of drum breaks and stripped-down, single-chord harmonies. Building on this success, Brown continued to push boundaries. Instrumental arrangements in songs like Give It Up or Turn It Loose, Licking Stick, and the iconic Funky Drummer showcased a further refinement of his mid-60s style. Horns, guitars, bass, and drums interlocked in intricate patterns, creating a powerful and undeniably funky sound. In 1970, James Brown faced a turning point. Financial disagreements led to the departures of both his longtime backing band and the famous Flames singers. However, Brown wasn't fazed. He teamed up with Bobby Bird, a former Flame who remained loyal, and together they recruited new talent. Several members of the Pacemakers, a Cincinnati group featuring Bootsy and Catfish Collins, joined the fold. This group, along with returning members like Fred Wesley and other fresh faces, became the foundation of the JB's, James Brown's powerhouse new band. James Brown spent his final years in Beach Island, South Carolina. Despite battling health issues like undiagnosed type 2 diabetes and successfully overcoming prostate cancer in 2004, Brown remained committed to his relentless work ethic, maintaining his title as the hardest working man in show business. Illness. In late December 2006, James Brown arrived for a dental appointment in Atlanta several hours late, looking unwell. Concerned by his weak and dazed appearance, the dentist urged him to seek immediate medical attention. Brown followed this advice and was admitted to Emory Crawford Long Memorial Hospital the next day for evaluation and treatment. His manager revealed that Brown had been battling a persistent cough since returning from Europe, but typically downplayed his health issues and even performed while feeling sick. Despite canceling upcoming concerts, James Brown held on to hope of recovering in time for his New Year's Eve appearances. These included shows at the Count Basie Theater and B.B. King Blues Club, along with a live performance on CNN's Anderson Cooper special. Sadly, his condition continued to deteriorate throughout the day, dashing his hopes for a quick return to the stage. Death. James Brown passed away on Christmas Day, 2006, at the age of 73. The official cause of death was congestive heart failure due to complications from pneumonia. His longtime manager, Charles Bobbitt, was present at his bedside. In 2019, some media outlets, including CNN, raised questions about the circumstances surrounding Brown's death. Thank you for watching. Tell us in the comments section your favorite memories of James Brown. Subscribe and click on the bell notification for more. Make sure to share with your friends.